In the last video, I covered the put if absent, and merge methods. Somewhat similar to those are the compute if present, and compute if absent methods. Like the merge method, these are default methods that were added to the map interface with JDK8. The compute and compute if absent methods also take two values for their by function, but these represent the key and the current value associated with that key or null if the key is absent in the case of compute if absent, rather than two contact objects. Let's look at this in action. This time I don't want to clear my map. I'll loop through an array of names. One name, Daffy Duck, is already a contact in my list, but the other two aren't. This method takes a by function, so I've got a lambda expression that has parameters k for key and v for value. I'll just return a new contact using the constructor that only takes a name, passing that my k argument, the key in other words, and I'll print them all out. Running this code to see what we get. You can see I've got two new contacts, Daisy Duck and Scrooge McDuck, with no emails or phone numbers. But now look at Daffy Duck. I've also erased his previous information and replaced it with a brand new contact record. The compute method is like the put method in this way, replacing what's in the map with the result of the by function or lambda expression. Maybe that's not what I really want to do. I can replace my compute method with a compute if absent call instead, but that doesn't compile. The compute if absent method only takes a key value as an argument, so I need to change this code once more. I'll just use k as the parameter with my lambda expression. I could keep the parentheses around that, but I prefer it with no parentheses when it's a single parameter like this. Notice that I can replace that with a method reference, but I don't want to do that right now. This code compiles now, so I'll run it. You can see Daisy and Scrooge still have new records, same as before, but Daffy Duck now shows the original information that existed at the start of the video. Because the entry already existed, it did not get overwritten. Going back to the map main method, I want to use compute if present for my same list of duck contacts. I'm going to say all my duck contacts work at a family-owned business called Fun Place. I'll copy lines 73 through 78 and paste them on line 80. I want to remove the statement in the for loop, replacing that with a call to compute if present. Like the first compute method, the first parameter is the key, and the next is a function, and like compute, it's a by function that takes both the key and the value, so I'll put parentheses there and add v. I've now got a multi-line lambda, and I'll execute add email on the element, passing it funplace as the company name, and I'll return the updated contact. Running this code. You can see that all of my duck contacts have a new email added, but my email logic's not very good, since Daisy and Daffy have the same email address. The compute methods give you a lot of functionality for adding elements that aren't in the map, replacing values already keyed, resetting all elements in the map to some default value, or executing some code on the map elements that do exist. Next, I want to fix the two ducks with the same email, using yet another default method on the map interface, this one called replace all. This method is similar to the replace all method on the list interface, except for a map. This takes a by function that has two arguments. It takes the key and value, and the function should return an object the same type as the value. I'll start with a separator line, followed by calling replace all on my contacts map. I'll call my parameters k and v for key and value, as usual, and start a multi-line lambda. I want a new email address that's made up of the contact name with spaces removed, then appends at funplace.com to the name, which will make it a unique email address for my contacts. I then execute the replace email if it exists method on contact, passing the old email address and the new email. Finally, I return that resulting contact, which is my lambda parameter v. And again, print out all contacts. Okay, so this code isn't really very efficient since I'm calling replace all on every single entry in the map, when I really only want to replace the email of two contacts. I did want to show you, however, that you can execute this method on the entire map, just like the list's replace all method, running this code. You can see that Daisy and Daffy's emails have been updated, but all other contact emails are untouched. In addition to replace all, I can replace just a single element in the map by either matching on key alone or both key and value. Let's say I have a contact where the name is Daisy Jane Duck with an email of daisyj@duck.com. I will set that up here. I'll create a new contact Daisy, passing Daisy Jane Duck as the name and daisyj@duck.com as the email address. I want to add this contact to my map for Daisy Duck, ignoring any middle name or initial. I'll call replace on my contacts map, passing the key, Daisy Duck, and my new contact Daisy. I'll assign the result to a variable called replaced contact, and I'll print Daisy. Then the replaced contact. Finally, I'll print all the key value pairs in my map, running that code. You can see the new Daisy contact, and the replaced contact was the one that was in the map already, but this code replaced that in the map with the new Daisy with the name Daisy Jane Duck. There's no rule that says the contact name has to match the key, and right now they don't for this record. The replace method has an overloaded version which lets you specify that you only want to replace the value in the map if both the keys and values match. To set this up, I'll add a separator line. Then I'm going to merge my two Daisy contacts, Daisy and replaced contact, assigning the result to a variable called updated Daisy. Then I'll print updated Daisy. Next, I want a Boolean flag called success, and I'll assign that the result of calling contacts.replace with Daisy Duck still as my key and replaced contact as the second argument and updated Daisy as the third. I'll add an if-then-else statement based on that success variable. If success is true, meaning the replace was successful, I'll print that the code successfully replaced element. Otherwise, I'll print that the code didn't match both key and value and print those both out. I'll end by printing out the contacts in my map, running that code. You can see the merged contact updated Daisy with the name Daisy Duck, but with two email addresses. You can see that the code to replace Daisy, testing the key Daisy Duck, and the record that's in replaced contact wasn't successful. Remember that a contact is considered equal if they have the same name. Our map's Daisy record now has Daisy Jane Duck as the name, and that doesn't match the name of the replaced contact, which was the original record. You can see that when I printed out the map, the key says Daisy Duck, but the value shows Daisy Jane Duck. I'll change my arguments, swapping replaced contact with just Daisy, the contact that has Daisy Jane. Running that code now, I see that this successfully replaced element. And look at the data in the Daisy Duck record. I am back to just Daisy Duck as the name, and I have two email addresses, so this is the merged contact that replaced the previous record. Those are the two overloaded replace methods. Similarly, there are also two overloaded versions of the remove method. The first remove method takes a key and returns the value that was removed or null if a value doesn't exist for that key. The second remove method takes both a key and a value. It only removes the element from the map if the key is in the map, and the element to be removed equals the value passed. This method returns a Boolean. Let's look at this one next. This is going to look very similar to the code above. I'll print a separator line. I'll then assign the result of the remove method that takes two arguments to the success variable. I'm going to pass the key Daisy Duck and the contact record Daisy, which I set up with the name Daisy Jane Duck. If that comes back true, I'll print out that the code successfully removed the element. Otherwise, I'll print out that it didn't match and print both the key and value. And I'll end by again printing all key value elements in the map. Running that code. I get the statement that they did not match on the key and the value. The value in the map doesn't include Jane in the name, so it doesn't match. Like the replace method that returns a Boolean, this version of the remove method must find the key in the map. It won't remove the element though unless it's considered equal to the element passed as the second argument. Okay, this feels like a good place to end this video since I now want to change gears a little bit. In the next video, I want to talk about the three collections we can get from the map and methods for using them. See you in the next video.